Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me for another glorious episode of Flyin18T Motorsports Current News. And today is, what is today? Today is Thursday, January 16th. We are live on Periscope. And as always, for those people who want to jump in, say hi, please do so. Say hi, what part of the world you're from, and let me know how you're doing, and I will do my best to say hi back. But what we're going to cover is the top stories on the Flyin18T Twitter stream over the last 48 hours. So we got the top 3 stories, and behind me, before we start, as always, another picture from the Lime Rock Park Historic Festival that was held back in September, right around September 1st of 2019. Of course, we have a Di Tommaso Pantera behind, and one of my top 3 favorite cars of all time. And if I've already put it up there in previous broadcasts, tough noogies. I love it. We'll do it again. Yeah, the Lime Rock Historic Festival, amazing festival if you've ever been. There's a couple days of historic cars running the track, and then there's one day that's dedicated to a concourse. People obviously trailer in and import their cars, and it's the most amazing collection of classic historic racing cars that you've ever seen. I mean, it's very impressive. So I highly recommend it. If you've never been, you must go at least once. You have to see it. It's pretty incredible stuff. So that is that. But what we're going to do is let's jump right in, and we'll get to story number 1. So the most popular story over the last 48 hours on the Flyin18T Twitter stream is the Genesis GV80. It finally debuts as the world's latest luxury SUV. Now, as I've stated before, and this is courtesy of Motor1.com, so thank you to them for sharing this story. And this is a story by Christopher Smith. But I'm not a big SUV guy, but this thing looks sick. I mean, this is a pretty crazy ride. Couple things I've noted here. I mean, this is going to compete in the market directly against the BMW X5 and the Audi Q7. And they'll be offering both 2 and 3 row versions. Let me get to some other pictures here because it's just a very impressive looking car. What else we got here? Wow. Very nice. Not an SUV guy, but this just looks sharp. It looks nice, good lines, nothing too funky. It's recognizable, but yet not so drastically different from anything else you've seen on the road. It's just extremely handsome and sharp. I like it. That's a really nice picture right there. Very nice interior, very clean, very high end, very premium look and feel. Awesome. Good for them. So, how do I get back here? I think I'm stuck. All right. Can I get back to this again? Anyway, there were some things I had highlighted as far as the car is only currently being made available in South Korea, and there were some engine options that I was going to try to cover, but oh, there we go. All right, cool. And let's get to that. I believe I had noted it. The current engine is a 3-liter turbo diesel generating 278 horsepower and 434 foot-pound of torque, but that version likely won't be offered outside of South Korea. However, the official word on other engine variations has not been given, but expected is a pair of gasoline versions that will be one will be a 2.5 liter turbocharged four-cylinder, developing 304 horses, which isn't bad for a four-cylinder. And then the upgrade to that is going to be, or most possibly going to be, a 3.5 liter six-cylinder packing 380 horsepower and a claimed 0 to 60 sprint of 5.7 seconds. Not bad for a car of that size. So pretty nice. I could get why people would be interested in this. It's a really nice looking, sharp looking car. Once again, this is the Genesis GV80, and it will initially only be offered in South Korea. So cool beans. That's story number one. Let's jump over to story number two. And we get to courtesy of motorsportretro.com. This is a continuation of a series that they put out. And this is about the Group C endurance racing and the rise and fall of the golden age of endurance racing, Cars and Constructors, Part 7. And in this seventh part of the Group C, they are focusing on the Jaguar, the XJR9, the XJR11, the XJR12, and the XJR14. I'm only going to go over this because it is a very interesting read, and this is a great series. For those of you who have not checked this out, I highly recommend going to motorsportretro.com and catch yourself up on all their coverage of every series that they, and every version, every model, and every mark that they review. They do a great job. I'm a big fan of this site, and I think it's awesome. But just to give you a quick little blurb about it, I'll kind of just skim through this first section here. At the 88 Daytona 24 Hours, Jaguar debuted the XJR9, an evolution of the earlier XJR8, designed by Tony Southgate. They went to enter 5 cars in the 24 Hours Le Mans. Winning the great race didn't come easy, and in the article was kind of, it was pretty crazy, but there was a Dutchman, I believe his name was Jan Lammers, and one of the cars had already gone out with a gearbox issue, and he started to recognize a gearbox issue in his Jaguar, and as soon as he didn't make the same mistake as the first driver. He immediately chose not to shift for the remainder of the race, and he had the lead, and he kept the car in the race only with fourth gear. That's the gear he was in when he started to recognize the gearbox issue. So it was Lammers, Andy Wallace, and Johnny Dumfries, and they claimed their first Le Mans 24-hour victory since 1957. And that win broke Porsche's 7-year winning streak in the process. So, and here's a picture of that XJR9. Really, really beautiful car. I mean, really gorgeous car. So cool. Goes on to explain the history of the XJR12, the XJR14. Definitely go to motorsportretro.com and you will be able to catch up on all the backstory and all these marks and all these variations of Jaguar and every other mark that they've covered in this series. So very cool stuff. Very cool. One of the next, we'll move on to story number 3, and it just so happens that one of the more popular things that was over the last 48 hours was my last Periscope broadcast. Who knew? Who knew I was getting a little attention there? So we're not going to go over that, obviously, but we'll skim on to the next story, which is, let me grab that right now. And I'm a little mixed on this one. This one happens to be the 2020 BMW 4 Series, which got rendered in an M440i guise with a large grille. Right. So, yeah. I mean, listen. We don't have to be a fan. I maybe some of the BMW hardcore fanatics are. This particular front end styling doesn't do it for me. You know, I'm trying to be polite because I do respect BMWs, but that's a you know, that's a rough one right there. So let's go through it a little bit. When it comes to market this year, the all new 2020 BMW 4 Series, and this is courtesy of BMWblog.com. It will feature a new top model, the BMW M440i, and it will be a rear-wheel drive 4 Series. And let's see if we can get some power plants and so on. They call it a one-piece kidney grill. Okay, that's what you want to call it. Here we go. Under the hood, the M440i hides a 3-liter turbocharged inline six, the B58, that should make around 382 horsepower and 369 pound-foot of torque in the U.S. Yeah. Overall, excited about the upcoming 4 Series. You know, and here they even acknowledge it might have a funky grill, but the rest of it is looking good. I would agree with you. I don't know that I've seen enough of the rest of the car, but just from what you can kind of make out, it does look pretty solid. But that, man, that grill, oof, that's I I don't know. You know, BMW, when Chris Bangle took over for the design years back, and I remember when he started just designing, being the lead designer for BMW, and you know, he was just very critical of all the other manufacturers and how boring their designs were, and he thought he was just the man. I mean, these designs just went off in a different direction, and you know, I give BMW credit for being bold enough to try to pave a new design direction with their cars, but you know, I wish there was more information online, whether it be in articles or interviews or videos on YouTube, where you actually had the designer walk you through. And I've seen them in the past, and not many of these videos actually exist. But for a design like this, for this 4 Series, this, you know, I would love to get inside the mind of the designer and have them explain from back to front how you can go with such clean lines. And if you look at the left side of this car, right, and you see how no lines are breaking up anything in the door, it's a clean line. You got the line that defines the right above the rear wheel. It's almost like that rear shoulder, and it comes right along the top of the door handle, and then it fades as it approaches the front. Really nice, handsome line. Really nice profile to the car. What makes them go in such a direction to have such a front end like that? And it's not just the fact that you have those two massive grills that look like two major buck teeth, but the fact that it's so flat in the front where the grill is. I just would love to hear from a design perspective, an analysis and some background as to how they came to this conclusion in the design process. What made them say, okay, we're going to do this with the car, and oh yeah, by the way, this looks great for the front. Like, how does it blend? I want to know. Well, once again, that's from BMWblog.com. And that's going to wrap up our 3 stories for today and another current news segment. So I thank you very much. I do have some things on the immediate horizon, some things within the week other than current news that might be presented here. So stay tuned for some possible special events that I don't want to kind of jinx myself, but I want to remain excited for that at the potential opportunity. So we'll see how everything plays out, but want to thank everyone for joining. And as always, this video will be uploaded to the Flyin18T Motorsports YouTube channel. Obviously, you'll be able to continue to watch this on Periscope and visit me on the Flyin18T Twitter channel. You can always message me there. That's the easiest way to get in touch with me. But if you like this video, please follow, subscribe, say hi. But thank you again, and I will see everyone maybe tomorrow. We'll see what the news looks like. All right. Have a great night. Bye.